Tires wailed, shattering the silence, followed by a fire engine's wail and a smattering of hurled curses. The truck skidded, lights flashing off suburb windows, then jerked to a stop before a low-slung silver SUV parked directly in a fire lane. Firefighters poured out hoses, ready to freeze, only no red curb. No warning, simply smooth beige paint, and a sign saying HOA guest, parking only on a nearby porch. Vanessa Wells, in a silk robe, drank lemonade with a superior smile. I sat on my lawn. Fists balled, anger seething. That fire lane used to be crimsoned. My dad and I painted it at 13. The fire chief, now Vanessa's paintbrush, had made a lifeline, a death trap, and the survival of someone was in the balance. It began a week ago, disposing of trash. I watched laborers slathering the fire lane's red curb with beige, a sort of lifeless color that cried, HOA tyranny. Vanessa, self-appointed HOA president, wearing a sun hat like a dictator overseeing a parade, giving barking orders. I questioned what was happening. She flicked her eyes at me offhand, enhancing curb appeal. Red's two abrasive stresses. People out, I explained. It was a fire lane, legally crucial. A lifesaver, she smirked. No fires here, it's just consuming guest parking. Flabbergasted, I insisted covering it up was illegal. She scoffed, menacing me. I wasn't, but I wished I had. The following day, I submitted a complaint with the HOA enclosing a highlighted city ordinance. Vanessa responded with a community email condemning rowdy residents and promoting her paint and panino party. To complete the beige conquest, offering wine and appetizers. She made a violation a party. I saw hands shaking as neighbors buzzed on Chardonnay painted over the last red stripe. One joking he was the next Picasso. My hope that the HOA board would intervene died. I emailed Vanessa again. No reply. The city fire marshal tied up with inspections needed a week. Then fate intervened during the 4th of July. Cookout, a grill spark hit dry mulch near the HOA clubhouse, igniting a blaze. Screams erupted, beer buckets useless against the flames. I ran toward the fire, yelling to clear the area, and called 911. The fire truck arrived in minutes, but stalled Vanessa's SUV, now beige and unmarked. I yelled, "This is the fire lane!" A firefighter snapped, "No markings, no clearance. We'll go around the detour." Cost 7 minutes by the time they arrived at the fire. A shed was ablaze, embers approaching a roof as firefighters fought. Vanessa staggered out, crying about her scorch planters. Our eyes met. I snarled, "This is on you." Her face flashed with awareness. Her childish power. Play had put lives at risk. My dad. The chief arrived, his face thunderous. He surveyed the beige curb, Vanessa's SUV, then me. "Is this what I think?" I nodded. He ordered photos, barking, "This isn't over." Vanessa stammered, "Chief, I was just improving aesthetics." He ignored her, calling in a code violation for obstructing emergency response. A firefighter muttered, "Tell that to the family whose shed and dog nearly burned." Vanessa pawed. The fire was contained, but the damage was done, and her reckoning loomed. She'd crossed the fire chief's daughter, raised on fire codes and unafraid to battle dawn, arrived with the smell of burned wood and anxiety. Vanessa's SUV disappeared overnight as if she could make her guilt disappear, but pictures, footage, and anger spread quicker than the flames. This wasn't rumor, it was a public safety emergency. On my front porch, drinking cold coffee, I saw Dad arrive. Anger creased his face. He'd spent the evening filing reports, preparing for media backlash. "She's not just frustrating, she's criminally negligent," he declared, handing me a folder, pictures of the beige curb, drone shots of the block truck, firefighter affidavits, and a scathing HOA bylaw amendment Vanessa had written, asserting curb color authority without board approval. "She doesn't receive punishment until her wallet or ego is burned," he growled. Asking me to go to the city council? Hearing an emergency HOA meeting was convened through Vanessa's email. Its tone frantic, vowing to clear safety misunderstandings. I laughed. She was flailing. The clubhouse overflowed with irate neighbors. Vanessa strode in her pantsuit, yelling desperation, her smile fragile. She asserted the fire lane was never accurately marked, but 3 neighbors pulled out photos disproving. Otherwise, I gave her a city citation notice. She grasped it as if it could ignite. Then Tom, the reserved HOA vice president, stood with printed emails Vanessa had inadvertently sent him. Boasting about wiping the lane for VIP parking and taunting challengers, gasps filled the room. Vanessa accused Tom of sabotage, but he announced his resignation and called for legal action. Mayhem broke out. Residents called for her removal. She escaped, knocking over a chair. City inspectors descended the following day, taking measurements, interviewing neighbors. The insurance company warned of rate increases. Unless Vanessa was removed and the lane reopened, she shot back with an email, alleging a smear campaign accusing me of tampering with the fire department and Dad of exercising authority. No one believed if emails are now lamppost flyers, captioned leadership failure. The city clerk phoned, requesting me to appear at the safety hearing. I agreed, eager to put Vanessa's reign to rest with facts and truth. She believed I was merely a neighbor. I was the chief's daughter, and this was not personal prior to the hearing. The neighborhood was a bureaucratic war zone. Cons lined streets, no parking signs popped up, and city employees chronicled Vanessa's beige empire. Her final effort board meeting flop had nobody showed up. She phoned the city crying harassment and employed a crew to repaint a curb beige at midnight, caught by an inspector who fined them for tampering. Whispers turned to scorn. Vanessa's name was poison. I worked with the fire marshal taking statements. Dad's timeline. Firefighters accounts a plea from a neighbor about their dog's near death. This was an HOA Dram 8, was endangerment, at City Hall. I walked in with a thick folder facing a crowded room, and reporters. Vanessa sat up front, wearing a sudden neck brace, dabbing dry eyes. Dad appeared, first displaying the fire's timeline, the beige curb. The delays cost council members gaped. Vanessa asserted aesthetic approval, but tripped when questioned to provide proof. Tom testified, revealing her unilateral rule, changes and condescending emails. I stood chronicling the painting, my warnings. The wine-soaked cover-up trust in our HOA burned quicker than that fence. I said. Silence ensued after Vanessa's defense, excusing board stress and minimizing the fire crumbled when a councilwoman snapped that she could have leveled homes guilty of obstruction, unpermitted alterations, and authority abuse. Vanessa faced fines, HOA oversight, and a humiliating order to repaint the curbs. Read under supervision, she vanished inside her house. Blinds shut the city, restored the lane. Vibrant red reflective tape, LED signs flashing no parking, towed immediately at a fire safety night. I hosted kids, wore plastic helmets, neighbors ate hot dogs, and I spoke on lane's importance. The glowing curb became a badge of resilience. Vanessa's final plea bulletin letter, blaming a hater coalition, was torn down, replaced with her damning email. Mandatory fire safety training was imposed. She sat fuming as our fire's photo flashed in a slideshow. Her house sold to a lively family oblivious to the saga. The fire department made our case a training module. I spoke to recruits, turning paint into policy. The city mandated HOA emergency plans, igniting reform. Tom led an open board, starting meetings, pulling paint selections. I became the safety liaison, putting lives ahead of looks at the upcoming block party. Joy replaced. Tension. Children climbed a fire truck. Neighbors swapped pies. The mayor awarded me the Red Line Award, a plain plaque representing hazard prevention. Vanessa's beige fantasy had started a red revolution, revealing her as a cautionary tale. The curb, now a beacon, represented a community that pushed back, demonstrating truth and unity, outshine any tyrant's paintbrush.